explore your differences. You might find some new delights. Hello, this is Randy Carney with another session of Walking with Randy, where we talk about writing, speaking, coaching, marketing, and marriage. Today we're talking about marriage. Explore your differences. You might find some new delights. Well, would you like to be able to spend hours together on perhaps some activities that you really didn't know very much about in the past? That would be a wonderful thing to be able to do that. Sometimes couples come up with the idea of allowing each other more space to do the things that they each enjoy. And that's fine. There's a lot to be said for that. There is a little bit of danger if that happens all the time in the couple beginning to drift apart. So it's good for them to be able to find things that they can enjoy doing together. Ralph drove off in a huff. That woman, doesn't she know that I care about her? Don't I work hard to put food on the table? He sat there and contemplated a little more as the traffic went by. And then he got ready to make a turn. And just as he was making that turn, waves of guilt flew over him. Elizabeth, back home, had retreated to her garden. She was taking the little shovel, working with the dirt. And then as she got a little more frustrated, she jabbed it down into the dirt extra hard. She thought to herself, that man, how selfish can he be? Doesn't he know that at this time of year I practically become a widow? Yes, isn't that what they call it? A football widow? Well, then she jabbed that shovel into the ground extra hard one more time, and waves of guilt flew over her too. She thought, he really is a good man, and I know that he loves me. Ralph, continuing to drive, realized that he needed to make amends. So he turned toward home. When he pulled in the driveway, he looked out toward the garden and he saw Elizabeth there. His impulse was to rush from the car over to where she was and to apologize profusely. But his pride kept him from doing that. Elizabeth looked up, and her impulse also was to jump up, run, and blurt out an apology. But instead, she sat there subdued, without speaking. Ralph continued walking toward her. Quietly, she got up. After a few seconds, she placed her hand in his, and they walked silently for just a few seconds. And Ralph said, I'm sorry. I know I spend too much time watching football. And she said, well, when you finally do relinquish the remote to me, it seems that you get quite upset after about an hour or so. He said, I know, you watch those home makeover shows, and they just go on and on. They never seem to end. She said, that's how it is with football. One game gets over and another one starts. They decided that they would try to watch each other's shows. Ralph said that he would allow her to watch her home makeover shows, and he would not complain. And then she said that she would try to watch the games with him. She said it would help if you would explain to me what's going on, and if you did not appear frustrated whenever you did that. Well, they kept their end of the bargain. On Monday nights, she watched at least one football game with Ralph. And he did explain to her what was going on, and whenever he wanted to get frustrated, he remembered the bargain and he patiently explained to her what was happening. And then she found out that she liked it better. And then Ralph even decided to sit down with her and to watch some of the shows on those home networks. They came across some shows, though, that he found to be more interesting. They were DIY shows. They showed how to do things. And he had to admit he had some interest in that. As things progressed, Elizabeth chose a favorite football team that she could root for. And Ralph actually found a favorite show on that home channel, a DIY show that he watched regularly. If you try to learn some things that your spouse is interested in that you formerly were not interested in, you may discover that you will find some new delights. Explore your differences. You might find some new delights. Well, if you would like some more tips like these, go to randysblogs.com. And this is actually based on an excerpt from my book, From Mountains to Molehills, Overcoming and Celebrating Your Differences in Marriage. I would urge you to go to Amazon.com, do a search for Dr. Randy Carney, and you will find a list of my books there, and check them out. Well, this has been another session of Walking with Randy. I hope you have a great rest of the week, and we'll talk to you later.